When people talk about Cole and Mason, the term that often comes up is seasoning experts. Now, seasoning to most people means salt and pepper. In this segment, we're going to talk about the 5 most common peppercorns and some of their differences. Now, first, don't worry about taking notes. Again, we're going to send you a handout after the viewing of this. Here are the 5 most common kind of peppercorns. We have black, white, green, these are red peppercorns, and finally, Szechuan. Let's start our story by talking about black. Black peppercorns are the peppercorns most people are familiar with. If you've ever had pre-ground pepper in the shaker, that's usually black peppercorns. The flavor for this, I think we're all familiar with. It can be kind of smoky, it can be kind of citrusy, woodsy. It adds a lot of heat and complexity to a dish. I think the most interesting thing about black peppercorns is that when you eat them, they actually activate the saliva glands in your mouth and make you produce more saliva. Now, I know this might sound kind of gross, but it's important to your ability to taste. If we didn't have saliva, we wouldn't be able to taste food. So, not only do black peppercorns make our food taste better, they help us taste our food better. I think that's really cool. Now, black peppercorns can be used for a variety of things. For meats, for vegetables, for fish, for soups. Truly a universal peppercorn and the most common one. Now, the next peppercorn we're going to talk about is the white. White peppercorns are actually fully mature, ripened black peppercorns. They take these and then they soak them in water. And then they allow them to ferment. And after they're done with that, they take the outer husk off, leave them out in the sun to dry. I think it's this reason that these are the angriest of all the peppercorns. These are really aggressive. When I eat a white peppercorn, the whole front of my mouth gets hot and the whole front of my tongue gets hot. And I think it's because the peppercorn at the end of the day is drowned, stripped, and then left out to dry. That would make anybody angry, right? As far as flavor, these have what's called a funkiness to them. Now, those of us with a little gray hair, funky means one thing, but in a culinary sense, funky you often associate with things like cheese and mushrooms. It's a very pleasant earthiness. These are most commonly used in things that take advantage of their color. They're often used in mashed potatoes and white cream sauces. Over here, we have green peppercorns. These are actually unripe black peppercorns. Because they're not fully ripened, they have a much softer taste to them. They're actually very, very floral. Now, when I say floral, a lot of people think of flowers. To me, this tastes like the forest. I think of pine and juniper notes. It's really, really a great, great peppercorn. It's not a lot of heat, but you will feel it on the outside of your tongue. Green peppercorns are often used to season more delicate foods. So things like stuffings and soups are common application for green peppercorns. These over here are red peppercorns. And these are, to be honest, the most dishonest of all the peppercorns because these are not actually peppercorns at all. These are a berry from a Chinese tree called the prickly ash. In terms of flavor, it's actually a very, very light flavor, very citrusy, very lemony, super pleasant. One of the big characteristics of red peppercorns is that activating your saliva glands. This is known to make you salivate, which, as we talked about over here, is something that helps you taste your food better. Common applications for this are actually popcorn. People use them in Bloody Marys and with things like sweet potatoes. The last peppercorn we're going to talk about is this one, which is the Szechuan. And to be honest, it's also a big liar because these aren't peppercorns at all. These are berries from an evergreen tree. The flavor on these is very floral. Now remember, we talked with the green ones, floral kind of reminded me of a forest. This is very, very floral. Like, think of flowers. Because of that, it's often used with things like fruits and cheeses and mild custard-like desserts. I gotta tell you, to get ready for this, I was trying some of these these actually have a strange numbing effect in your mouth. They will actually make the front of your tongue and your lips numb if you chew on them for long enough. So there you go. There are the 5 most common kinds of peppercorns. It's important for you to know that all these peppercorns, whether in a mix or on their own, are available through Cole & Mason. So thanks for your attention. Congratulations, you know all about pepper.